welcome to Mayhem Country Living. In anticipation of the tropical events that we are going to be having coming up through the Gulf, and it was also time anyway. I try to do it either like at the end of the month or the first of the month. Cranking up the generators, going through them, making sure that everything is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and clean this thing. The other one I have, had it sitting over there. The carburetor, I'm going to have to go through it and either clean the carburetor or do a rebuild on it. This one I'd cut the fuel off. That's why it was cycling so badly. Cut the fuel off, let it drain the bowl and start. That's the way you store these things. Now, I'm going to let it cool off a little bit. We're going to spray everything down with just a good lubricant, just to keep it nice looking and to help with any kind of rust problems. So, more to come. Okay, got it cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead and top it off just in case we need it with fuel now that it's cooled off. And I'm gonna roll it back under here. This is not the ideal place to keep it. What I'm looking to do, I'm gonna get me one of those plastic houses, and they'll be stored probably right here. And it'll be waterproof, and we can open it up and we'll have extension cords in there. And you know, you can open it up, crank them up, run them. I don't want to have them running here because just as my luck would have it, as they run, they throw out CO2, and it could, since it's heavier than air, there is potential for it to go down the steps and into the basement. So we're having it close enough to house where we can service the ACs and the freezers and refrigerators, but far enough away to where there's not that much of a threat. Ideally, we will put it a little bit further out, and then we'll be able to store the fuel. I don't keep this anywhere close to the house. I keep about 100 gallons of gasoline. So that does not stay close to the house. We keep that stored on the property, but far enough away from anything that will burn and everything. Well, it's in a safer spot. But just getting all this little bitty stuff cleaned up, straightened up. So, more to come. Okay guys, now we have the generators tucked away. First of the month I will get the new information, or I'll get the carburetor information so I can order a new carburetor. If it's around 30 bucks, I'll just go ahead and get one. That old, the one that's not running, we have had it 15 or 18 years, about as long as we've been together. And the other one is much newer. It is about 4 or 5 years old. The only time we run them is during bad weathers or storms, other than the maintenance crank up. Crank it up, let it run for a few minutes, put something in to cycle the generator side as well. That's a really good way to do it. Something like a lamp. That's all you really need to do, just to make sure all the circuits are working, because it would be a kick in the butt if you crank it up and the motor side runs, the generator side is dead. That does happen. And it's fairly common, actually. I used to do a lot of small engine work. Some of the things I would recommend that you keep to be able to service your generator, whatever brand it is. I would keep a spark plug, one extra spark plug. I would keep whatever type of oil that goes in it, and whatever volume amount. I would just buy a 5-quart of it from Walmart, Advanced Automotive, something like that. If it has a spin-on oil filter, make sure you have 1 or 2 of those. And in addition to that, I would say get some filter media for the air filter. You can cut that out. It doesn't have to be anything exotic. You can cut it out from a sofa cushion if you have an extra sofa cushion. And then I would keep a few loose pieces of tubing, like 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, something like that, rubber tubing, just to replace, because sometimes on those carburetors you will have a worn out or a rotten piece. That should keep your generator running for a very long time. When I get ready to go into the carburetor, I'll do a good video on that. It's a cheap little Chinese knockoff generator, that oldest one is, so it shouldn't be too hard to find it. I could probably go through and just rebuild it and clean it myself. I've done it 100 times, but something that's interesting, and if you have a generator, you need to know how to troubleshoot for the minor stuff. One thing you can also put aside is an extra pull cord. If you don't have an extra pull cord, remember you can always use paracord. That will work. It's thinner, but it would work in a pinch. Gonna wrap it up. I am sitting down. Fever tree. Take care of your people, guys. Damn, that's good. See ya.